Doomerism, a piece of internet pop culture from the late 2018s, originally seen as just another adaptation of the classic Wojak for the jaded millennials and the freshly jaded Gen Z. Doomerism seemed to touch a deep-seated feeling of hopelessness for the future of this world. The people who self-identified under this internet meme persona typically are well aware of the deep-rooted systems in place in the modern world that leads to its further degradation, as well as the unwillingness of the mass population to take any direct action against said status quo. The Doomer movement seemed to have gained some traction back in the 2018s and 19s, but fizzled out presumably due to the indirect and uninformed connection to the then and currently still rising incel community. Back then, people didn't want to be associated with the Doomers because it was seen as an offshoot of the incel, where it was commonly seen as young men in their 20s who can't get laid or catch a break, so they end up giving up hope on the world, essentially a non-antagonistic form of inceldom, where the individual blames the society for their forced celibacy, not the opposite gender as a whole. I saw this and thought what a shame it is that this meme that was able to encapsulate part of the human psyche that has been present throughout human history would suffer the fate of near extinction online. So I decided it's time we revitalize the essence of true Doomerism online, because as much as people want to brush off Doomers as sad sacks of losers, I think that's not true. First of all, I'd like to make a counterclaim that Doomers and incels are essentially interchangeable. For one, there is Doomers who are in relationship. It is possible, guys. Just take a look at the Doomerette, another version of the meme. This one just simply being a gender swap, whose ideal partner is a like-minded individual, that being the traditional Doomer. Okay, so the hypothetical possibility of a Doomer having a relationship isn't enough to set them apart from incels for you? Okay, well how about this? How about once again, they don't have an inherent hatred for women that incels do. While some Doomers do have their troubles finding relationships, they are not complete misogynists like incels are. Not to mention the little fact that no Doomer went on a rampage and murdered a bunch of people. The worst a Doomer ever did was murder themselves. But seriously now, on to my second point. I believe that Doomers play an important role in culture, not just for their hopelessness and nihilistic views, but from their inherent cynicism about the world. This is important for the progression of human discourse due to how Doomers look at the world from a point of realism. They are well aware, just like the rest of us, that our use and often over-reliance on social media for social interaction and validation is one sign of a degrading state of mental health, and the further ruining of a person's ability to have healthy interpersonal relationships. This isn't a hot take by any means, but most don't actively choose to acknowledge this phenomena, while the Doomers do. Doomers will actively and publicly acknowledge these aspects of our human behavior that continue to ruin us. Doing this, yes, leads one into a state of hopelessness due to its overabundance in our modern world, which further cements the nihilism and apathetic feeling of nothing matters that is very much present within Doomers. This is what most might see as the most detrimental thing about Doomers as a whole, while I see it as one of the greatest strengths. It is in this state of absolute nothingness that one is able to disregard all other perspective notions on how we should function as humans in a society, and can create one's own values that they are then able to advocate for. Buddha had it right when they said, life is suffering, but with this suffering, we are able to transform ourselves into something greater than what we originally were. Something that's able to make an impact and potentially transform the world we live in. Look, I'm not saying Doomers or Doomerism as a whole is something above other humans, because it's not. At the end of the day, we're all just human. But through being able to endure the suffering of the world upon its shoulder, a Doomer is able to come to terms with and realize what a human is. A human is the animal embodiment of a god. That its actions, however minuscule they are, do have an effect on this world. I know it's hard being a Doomer. You feel like you're stuck in a rut and there's no way to get out, while you idly waste your time waiting for the world to end. But I know if you keep on to the brink of what you can handle, then you'll see the light. and come to your own revelations about this world. So come on, Doomers, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you would do to change this place. I want to hear what made you, you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did end up liking it, I'll ask you to subscribe. Let me know if you agree with what I said or if you think I'm full of it. I just want Doomers to be its own thing again, and I'd like you to be a part of that. Once again, thank you for watching.